Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Wait, I'm
Hi.
trying to find a light.
All right, you said I'm a thigh guy. I'm telling you, man,
Okay.
bring back the leg men. Leg and like a nice butt. I don't like a huge comical ass, but enough to where, because we all like the Indian doggy style, because we black, man. That's just what we do. Um, you know, Shout out to all my non-black brothers. Hey, that's the black man's thing. All sex ends in doggy style with us. I'm not kidding. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Good. How old are you?
28.
28. Are there enough women for relationships today?
Yeah.
Really?
Enough women for relationships? Yeah.
They're okay. Uh, do you have any children?
No.
Well, what city? Well, don't share that. Why would you say that there are enough for men, enough women for relationships today, when 65% of men say that they're not?
Um, Depends on what they're looking for. Like there's women out there, there's men out there, but it's like where are they looking?
No,
What type of person are
they're
they looking?
looking for relationships. So the men are looking for relationships and or marriage. They're not looking to hook up. They're not looking for one night stand. They're looking for a woman. And 65% of men say that there are not enough. You, as a woman, say they are. And I'm asking you, why do you say that? And you said it depends
Now
on
that
where
you're
they're going.
down in that way, then no.
Huh?
Thinking looking for women like girls that they want to like have sex with, but relationship.
No, no, relationship. Meaning, if I said sex, if there are enough women for sex today, that's a different question.
There's a lot of women for sex.
Okay, but are there enough women for relationships?
I guess not.
Do you want to be married?
One day,
Do you want children? No, you don't.
if I'm
No?
if I'm married, I want children. But I don't want to be like a baby mama. If
How
that
many
makes
children would you like to have?
two.
Did you go to college?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in
Uh,
school.
you're in college right now?
hmm
What are you going to school for?
San Jose State for communications.
Okay, and for 28
I know.
for communications? What do
Yeah.
you plan on doing with that other than being broke?
I want to work in PR for sports.
So yeah, oh, okay. hmm PR for a
Right.
major league team?
Yeah.
And how much you think you'll earn in PR?
I have no idea, honestly. I did my research, but it's different. It depends on like how many clients you have and what firm you work for.
But approximately how much if you never get married, how much do you expect to make in a year over your career? At the peak of your career?
I haven't thought that far. At 28, I know it sounds bad, but
Yeah, it does. So let's talk about it. At 28, you're good in college debt with a communications degree and you want to be in PR. That is a very small group of jobs.
yeah, and there's not that many
I know, and sorry, you likely won't get it because there are not that many. The chances of you getting a PR job for a sports team is small because they're already taken. And then what do you plan on doing? What can you do with a communications degree?
I want to do like sports management.
And make how much?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't have enough.
Ballpark it. You got to give me a number.
I at least want to make six figures, but I know that's a,
Six figures. What state do you live in?
I live in Atlanta right now.
Okay. Welcome to reality. What percentage of women earn more than $75,000 a year?
I don't know.
Guess. Guess.
Like 23.
I just laughed you. Again,
That is it.
see, this is the problem. A 28-year-old woman who does not want marriage, who's going to school
I
late.
do want marriage.
No, did it? All right. You were shaky on that when you came through. But at 28, you're in the danger zone.
Danger zone.
How many more years do you have before you graduate?
I graduated in December.
All right. So you'll be 28, 29. Man, if you don't get married, how do you plan on getting your $2.9 million or so that you'll need to retire on from 65 to 85. Because most people, most women earn less than $30,000 a year.
I could make more than that bartending at a club.
But you can't bartend until you're 65.
You
Pretty
said?
runs cute runs out. And what you're showing and what I'm using to show is women today are allowed to go through life like it's not that serious. I'm asking you very basic questions. You're like, I know I should know. Yeah, you should know because men have to know because ain't nobody coming to save us. And the reality is this: if you don't get married, the likelihood of you making enough money to take care of yourself to retirement is negligible.
Facts.
I did an assignment on my show. If a woman made $50,000 from 25 to 65 over her career, and it just kept moving with the cost of inflation. And if she needed to retire at 65 and live to 85, she would need $2.9 million. Even if she saved $200 a month, which was a lot compared to what she would have after taxes and apartment and everything else here in Atlanta, she'd have a $700,000 shortfall, meaning you need a husband to get to the end of life unless you plan on being wealthy.
Yeah.
Unless you know you're going to make 125, 150, you need a
But
man.
like you said, it's not gonna last.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, we could play that game, but there's always a new model, right? And see, what I'm showing is 50, 70 years ago, you'd have been married with a child by now.
At
Two,
28.
two kids probably. But another woman who is out of the mating and dating and relationship thing to go get no offense, but communications is a pointless degree to do a job that's a fanciful job, PR for a sports team. I'm just saying those are small amounts of jobs. And that is more appealing than being somebody's current wife right now and somebody's current mother. That's what's been marketed to you guys. And all I'm trying to do is bring light to that, say, well, all right, you need to understand, here are your options. The path you're on right now, there are a lot of women in Atlanta who are doing what you're doing, trying to start their own business, PR, consulting, but there's 17 to 1 black women for black men. And that's before you adjust for the high gay population. So
They
what
are.
I'm saying is every other group of women are married at a 54% rate or higher. Were you raised to think that you needed a man to get to the end of life?
Um, Not that I need, but that I should have one.
Were your mother and father married?
No.
How many children did your mother have?
My mom has 4 kids.
About how many men?
2.
And what does she do for a living?
She's like a manager at like a water company.
Well, unless you know you're gonna be making 150.
My mom got money, but
Your mom has what?
she got money, but that got nothing to do with me. But yeah.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with you. And what I'm showing is like, because when I asked you, you want to be married, it's kind of like, yeah, sure, one day. I was like, there's no sense of urgency for relationships. So if you don't get married, what does life look like for you? If you're an average middle class, mid PR, and I used to run an advertising PR firm, there ain't a lot of money in it for everybody. If we gave you a salary of
But
$70,000
I
a
feel
year,
like if you know the right people, you can get a job like in that
yeah, a job, and
field,
jobs don't make people
or a
rich.
career in that field.
The average PR professional, average PR professional in Atlanta earns what? The average PR salary, 45 to 75, 36 to 63. I'll give you a high end, 70,000. 70,000 from age 35 to 65. That means you're going to be living at a $70,000 salary.
What about in California? Because
You even more broke.
oh shit.
So, do you have an apartment?
Hmm.
Do you want to live in an apartment for the rest of your life? You want a home. All right. What kind of car would you like to drive at 40?
I want like a Range Rover.
Oh, okay. And how much do Range Rovers cost?
Mm, like 70?
Right. Uh, so you want a Range Rover that's 70 on the low end in a career field that pays middle income.
I just gotta marry rich then. Fuck you.
I need you to lean forward.
You go in on me?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Because I need you to understand how unintentionally insulting that is. Because your plan, because I've decided to, I need your money, sir. Okay, then what's he going to get for being rich? What's he going to get from you? What's he going to get for his money? That's fair, right? I think that's fair. What's he getting? Huh?
A housewife. I don't know the correct answer because I don't know.
Well, the thing is, ma'am, you're not a
Trying to-
housewife. You weren't raised to be a housewife.
No, I wasn't.
See, what your answer is, and you're being honest,
Yeah,
most women don't go through life thinking about these things because ultimately somebody will figure it out for me. And if that doesn't happen, I'll just find a man and he'll do it. So I need you black women to start walking through life like you need a black man.
I do.
Because,
Black man.
okay, but where's your man? Where is he? So if you need him, why ain't your ass over at his house right now on your knees?
Doing what?
What you should be doing at 11 o'clock at night in Atlanta for a man you need.
Praying with him?
He's saying, oh my God. I don't know if he's praying.
Oh
I
wow.
mean, seriously. I mean, we're adults, right?
Mm-hmm.
When was your last relationship?
Almost 4 years ago.
All right. So when I say you should be acting like a sense of urgency at 28 years old, you ain't sweat a relationship for 4 years when most women recognize I am not going to be a woman who is earning six figures or more, an attorney, a physician, uh, engineer, even accounting and that kind of stuff. That's high five figures. So if you're not going to make that kind of money, you need a man. And most black women need a man, but y'all act like y'all are the last ones to need one. Matter of fact, you got songs talking about it.
I do. I will never say I don't need a man. I do.
All right, then where is he?
I don't know.
How long you been in Atlanta?
Um, since August,
All right. How long was your last relationship, the one that ended 4 years ago?
like a year and a half.
Okay. If I had, and who ended it?
Him,
Why?
because I was working at a club in LA,
Mm-hmm.
and he looked through my phone and seen my messages of me texting like high profile men, and he was like, "Why
Or
would
were
you?"
you texting him? See you when you get back to the club or
Yeah,
what?
things like that, like booking tables and things like that. But I was like never cheating. But he's, I guess, I don't know. He was like, "Nah, not my," bitch. And he was like,
Is that when he met you, were you doing that job?
"No."
What were you doing when he met you?
I think I was waitressing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, due respect, I was a server, and it's not uncommon for attractive people to leverage their looks in service, but that runs out.
Yeah.
So, did he give you a chance to resolve this problem, or did he just bounce?
We were on, I think we broke up like three different times, but it just, I didn't change. Like I was still, it was like quit your job, or I was like, I'm not going to quit my job.
Okay. What
And
did
he's
he
like,
do for a living?
doing it. I'm like, no.
What did
So
he do for a living?
he played football.
Right. Did he want to marry you?
I don't know.
Why did he want you to quit your job? How are you going to make money?
Hmm?
How, if you quit your job, how are you going to make money? So he just told you to quit your job and do nothing.
Or find a different job. He wanted me to
Okay.
go back to waitressing at a restaurant, which I make more money at a club. So
Okay.
I was like, no,
And did he play football for whom?
for the Rams.
All right. Um, I'm going to ask you a hard question. In hindsight, would you have been better off quitting your job and staying with your man?
It depends. I feel like if I knew we were gonna last,
Yeah.
get married, then
Did you
yeah,
guys ever have that conversation?
no. That's
Did
why.
you make it a requirement that you wanted to get married before you start dating him?
No.
Then there you go, man. You ladies think that men are just supposed to marry you. And if you start dating somebody and you don't want to get married, he don't want to get married, y'all just hanging out.
Right.
So what I'm showing is no matter how we slice it, you've had opportunities. You know, you've lived in places and you're just not, men are just fun for you at this point. All right. But what are you going to do when you drop off the wall and you hit 30 or really 35 and you can't be a waitress like you used to could be? You can't
Yeah.
get those tips. Then you're going to have to be like your mama and work your ass off because you're taking your youth and wasting it instead of saying, do I
That's
need a man in my life or do I want to do like a lot of modern women are marrying their friends or roommates or something? I'm just trying to get you to ask yourself these questions because our culture doesn't. And the net of it is you're another 28-year-old sister who has been sleepwalking through life about relationships, not the seriousness. And I've asked this question many ways. What do women owe their community? You owe the community families and relationships. So, has this given you anything new to think about?
yeah. Actually, it has.
All right, well, good.
Asking questions I really didn't have an answer to, so now I really got to think about it.
Well, I mean, the real question is at the end of your life, do you want to be by yourself with your homegirl, with a dog, a cat, or do you actually want to be with, or do you want to have had a life with somebody, had some children, some memories?
I want
Because,
to be married to a
huh?
black. I said I want to be married to a black man, 2 kids, big
Oh,
house, someone with a big dick, and then I'm fine.
well, all that big house and big dick, I mean, you're lucky if you get a black man.
I will get a black man.
1 in 4 black women will marry. And all the other stuff, man, is kind of silly. Let me tell you why. Because more black women divorce men because the sex ain't good enough, or his dick ain't good enough, or the house ain't big enough. All right, fine. The only person that's gonna hurt is you, or women that do that kind of stuff. You don't hear non-black women say, I need a guy with a house and a big. They need a 401k. They want a 401k and retirement plan and some benefits. Why do you need a big? I mean, seriously.
It was a joke, but no, for real.
But
That's
but
that's
it's a joke in our culture because but you need to understand what men hear when they hear that. That
okay.
means what men hear is being a a provider and a solid man ain't good enough. I still got to give you a big house and have a big. So
But
you get
when it comes to me, you can't just be like black women because my mom's Mexican and I was
okay.
raised Hispanic culture with my dad just not around when I was younger.
You were Hispanic. You're culturally Hispanic.
Like my mom is full Mexican, so
I
growing
get
up,
it.
I wasn't around like
You have any brothers?
yeah, I do.
So you have a how do you have a brother who's older than you?
I have one older brother and then 2 younger brothers.
All right. So at dinner time, did you serve them?
No.
Then you're not culturally Mexican.
My mom served them. That's their mom.
But see, that's your job.
As a
Your,
sister?
yes.
Really?
See? Yes, your mother was supposed to be serving her husband, but she's not culturally Mexican either because she got multiple. You're
She,
supposed to. Okay,
my mom was
listen.
serving her
What do
husband.
you think? What do you think the young ladies in the family learned how to become a wife? The mother serves the father. The daughters serve the brothers. You
I
serve
know.
their. You, I didn't make this stuff up. I mean, I'm. Um, so when you say you're culturally Mexican, I'm like, oh, you seem culturally black. I resonate with what you told me more than I would think somebody from Mexico would understand what you're talking about. And me telling you raising, serving your brothers is like, what? Yeah, you
I
serve yourself,
heard of that.
huh?
I honestly never heard that the sister has to serve their brothers.
Well, the women serve the men of the
Yeah,
family.
my mom and my grandma would serve their husbands and then their
Yeah,
kids.
but you are a
I
woman. You're the females serve the males. So, I mean, I've heard this because I've seen it. When I
okay.
go over to my Hispanic friends, my Mexican, when I'm seeing the little girls or when I'm seeing older girls serve their brothers, I'm seeing younger girls serve their brothers. I'm like, that's dope. That's how they learn
I ain't
to
shit.
cooperate with a man. What do you think you're supposed to do? You're supposed to do that after he becomes your boyfriend, then your husband, then you'll serve him? Then why should he marry you if you got to have on the job training?
Well, I would serve my kids and my boyfriend or husband, but I don't know about my brother. That's new
Uh,
to me. I would for sure like serve
But
my
it's
husband.
because you okay. Look, why not? I mean, they're men, right?
Yeah, I never thought of it though.
Well,
I wouldn't have a problem.
and I'll tell you one of the reasons you might not have thought about
Like
this.
if they asked me, I would do it, but I would never be like, hold on, let me fix your plate. Like, have a seat.
Well, let me tell you one of the reasons you may not, because women today don't have respect for men like they used to, because you're provided for and you're safe. But if you 1,000 years ago you were living in a town, a village, or there was no police or fire, who were the only people to protect your safety at the home?
The men.
Your father and the other boys.
Hmm.
So, in respect for the fact that they got to protect you, you serve them some bread because they got to die for you. See how we've broken down the whole nature of the family, how we've broken down the respect due for a woman to a man and a man to a woman, to where now relationships are really just romantic choice things versus necessity. Everything I've been talking to you about is necessity, not
Hmm.
love, not romance. It's necessity. If you don't have enough money, you're going to either live with a woman or what? There's no more, the government can't fix it. You're going to live in a shoebox? Most women don't have it. That's why I'm trying to get people to understand the way you talk to women, because y'all need to be shocked into reality
No,
because
I've
you're
seen
not a,
you're honest, you're fair. Like
well, thank you. And
what
I
you
don't, I,
said.
I reflect what I get back. And I think many women today, I've seen the marketing that was done to women to get women to be a consumer class. And it's not malice, but when you're just walking around thinking, I've got time. I'm young. I'm only 28. I got time. I mean, honestly, you're probably thinking that I got time. I mean, I'm not as young as I used to be, but I still got time. I mean, I graduate in December. And the presumption is when you're ready, all you got to do is turn around and go get a man off the high value tree. And you said a big house and a big, let's get back to it. How many kids would you like to have?
Too.
Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're married?
Do I want to have to work? No, but I will work.
What percentage of the financial family load do you want to have to be responsible for a lifetime?
Um, like what parts I gotta pay for?
Now, what percentage of the overall family financial load do you want to have to be responsible for? What percentage out of 100% of the family financial load? What do you want to have to do? Means if
40,
you don't do it, it doesn't happen.
35, 40.
35 or 40. That means you're going to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then understand that even if you did work, marry a man, uh, who can provide, you'll probably get 12 weeks off after you have your baby, and you got to put them in daycare. All these are very realistic things. But how much do you think your husband would have to make to provide for you, him, and two children?
A lot.
How much?
I don't know.
Ballpark it.
A few mil.
Annually?
Yeah.
I'll give you a chance to go ahead and
Um,
be realistic.
100,000 a year. Is that realistic?
That's okay for one person. I just said earlier, man, unless you plan on making about 150,000, you're gonna need a husband. But now if you talk about you, a husband, you and four kids,
That's why my answers are kind of.
what?
These are all questions I haven't thought about.
Well, then how are you gonna find a suitable husband if you don't know what kind of lifestyle you want to have and about how much it's going to take for a man to provide that?
They usually all have like their own money. I don't know. I never thought about it.
And unfortunately, and I mean no
And
disrespect,
thank you. Now I do. Thank you.
but what I'm saying is this is what men are. So people get mad at me when I sit around and judge women and rate women. Men want something for their money, and what you're hearing is you don't mean anything by it, but you haven't thought about what these men want, who they are, demographically, anything. It's just it's supposed to just happen. To take care of two kids in Atlanta, you're talking around about $250,000 a year. That's just to provide a decent middle class lifestyle for a wife that doesn't have to work. If you choose to work, but you still don't want to be responsible for half the load, and honestly, the way I'm reading you, you probably want to be responsible for less than 20%. That means some kind of home business or something, which is no insult, but you don't want the family to be at risk if you don't work. True or false?
True.
That means you want to be responsible for less than 20%.
Yeah, like if something happens to my husband, I want to be able to have that money to like here, like
If something happened to your
like
husband,
someone to lose his job, and let's say for 4 months he don't have no money. I want to have enough money to be able to pay whatever has to be
yeah,
paid.
but you could do that on 20%. But I'm
Right.
talking about if you stop doing what you did, period, you lose the house.
Yeah.
At 40%, if you stop doing what you're doing, you lose everything. And what I'm trying to get people to understand is women have not been told to think about it. It's just like you really just think that the men will figure it out. And if that's the case, then you shouldn't have any problem being fit, feminine, cooperative, and submissive. Since we got to figure it out, we
I
got
can
to be the ones that have all these answers. Then if we say go right, you should be yes, sir. Can you honestly say that's how you are in a relationship?
most of the time, yes,
But you just said you didn't quit a job that was problematic.
because it didn't make sense to me. If you're
Okay.
not helping with any of my finances,
I
why should?
get it. I get it. I get it. It
Yeah,
was a different situation.
yeah.
But now you got to think about it
If a
because
man take
now
care,
you're
what he say?
you're at the age I call the danger zone, 27 to 35. And the purpose of that danger zone is because women at that age, you need to focus like a laser on the outcomes you want in life and start making those things happen. Women need to get the major parts of their life together sooner than men. So this call should be a wake up call and say, all right, I got to stop acting like I got all this time because I start running out of options, especially childbearing options and things like that. And unless you have really have men in your life today that are actively considering you to be their wife, you can't say I'll just get married. You got to think about the kind of lifestyle, the kind of man that can provide that, understand where they are, what they want from a woman, and then realize you got to compete with the women around him. And the higher up you go, the more you want, the more you're gonna have to give. So, and I'll back all this up. If you plan on trying to go get this great PR career started, many times women find that they're spend too much of their time focusing on this job and not enough time focusing on a relationship, and then you have to work for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Now at least you may have some options. All right, have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye bye.